By 30, 1 times your salary. By 40, 3 times. By 50, 6 times. By 60, 8 times. By 67, 10 times your salary. These are the Fidelity milestones, the retirement savings targets based on 40 years of retirement mathematics. Hit them and you can retire comfortably. Miss them and you need a different strategy. 80% of Americans miss these targets entirely. Most reach 30 with 0 to 20,000 saved. They reach 40 with maybe 50 to 100,000. By 50, they are panicking. By 60, they are working longer because they have no choice. But here is what most retirement content misses. These milestones are targets for people who started saving at 25. If you did not start early, you do not fail. You shift your strategy. Instead of saving 10% from 25 to 60, maybe you save 20% from 40 to 60. Or you work 2 to 3 years longer. Or you use the catch-up contribution rules that exist specifically for this purpose. In this video, real 2026 dollar amounts at each age. The math behind each milestone. What happens if you are behind? The 2026 catch-up rules including 32,500 at 50 plus and 35,750 at 60 to 63. And the 3-step accelerator if you are way behind. Let us go. Quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor or CPA. This is educational analysis of Fidelity retirement milestones with updated 2026 numbers. Individual situations vary. Consult a financial advisor before making saving or investment decisions. Welcome back to Faceless Millionaire. The Fidelity milestones tell you exactly how much you should have saved at each age. If you are on track, you are in the top 20%. If you are behind, this video shows you the exact path to catch up. Subscribe and let us break it down. Fidelity, one of the world's largest investment companies, conducted decades of retirement research. They asked, if someone saves this much by this age with average market returns, will they have enough at retirement? The result, these milestones. What does 1 times your salary actually mean? If you earn $60,000, you should have $60,000 saved by age 30. If you earn $100,000, $100,000. If you earn $150,000, $150,000. It scales proportionally with your income. These milestones assume you started saving at 25. Save 10 to 15% of gross income consistently. Your employer matched 3%. You average 7% annual returns. You work until 67. You live to 90 or 95. And your income grows roughly with inflation. If any of these assumptions do not match your life, the milestones shift. Started at 35 instead of 25? Different target. Self-employed with no employer match? Higher savings rate. Want to retire at 55? Much higher targets. These are starting points, not laws. Why does 10 times your salary at 67 work? 4% withdrawal rate on 10 times your salary gives you 0.4 times your salary per year. Plus Social Security averaging about $25,000 a year. Combined, roughly 65 to 85% of your pre-retirement income. Enough for most people to maintain their lifestyle. Compound growth is the engine behind these milestones. Let me show you why starting earlier matters so much. Person A starts saving at 25. $10,000 a year for 40 years, $400,000 contributed. With 7% compound growth, $1.386 million at 65. $986,000 came from compounding alone. Person B starts at 35. $10,000 a year for 30 years, $300,000 contributed. With compound growth, $724,000. Only $424,000 from compounding. The difference, $662,000. Person A contributed only $100,000 more in raw dollars, but they end up with $662,000 more at retirement. Same savings rate, same returns, just time. This is why hitting the early milestones matters so much. 80% of Americans miss these targets. 5 main reasons. Reason 1, low starting salary. At 30 to 40,000 a year, saving 10 to 15% is extremely difficult. Most people start behind and never catch up from those early years. Reason 2. Career interruptions. Job loss, health issues, sabbaticals, family situations. Stop saving for 2 to 3 years and the compounding curve breaks. Reason 3. Income starts low and grows later. You earn 40,000 at 25 and 100,000 at 45. The milestones assume stable income, but your earnings were lowest exactly when the compounding would have been most powerful. Reason 4. No employer match. Self-employed people, gig workers, freelancers have to save 15 to 20% entirely on their own. Reason 5. Behavioral mistakes. Panic selling during market downturns. High-fee funds that eat returns. And the most expensive phrase in personal finance, I will catch up later. By age 30, 1 times your salary. If you earn 50,000, you should have 50,000 saved. 75,000, 75. 100,000, 100. Reality, most 30-year-olds have 5 to 15,000 saved. The bottom 20%, 0 to 10. The middle 50, 10 to 50. The top 20%, 50 to 150 plus. Hitting the 1 times milestone puts you in the top 20% of your age group. How to get there? Save 10 to 15% from 25 to 30. At 50,000 a year and 12.5% savings rate, $6,250 per year. Over 5 years, $31,250 contributed. Plus employer match at 3%, $7,500 more. Plus compound growth. Total at 30, approximately 45 to 50,000. Right at the milestone. If you are behind at 30. Say you have 20,000 instead of 50. That is a 30,000 shortfall. This is absolutely fixable. Option 1. Increase your savings rate to 20% for 5 years, 10,000 per year, plus compound growth on the 20 you already have. By 35, you are at roughly 90 to 100,000. You have caught up and passed the 2 times milestone for age 35. Option 2. Use any windfall, bonus, tax refund, side hustle income. Put 10 to 20,000 into a Roth IRA or 401k. Jump starts the compounding immediately. Option 3. More aggressive investment allocation. At 30, you have 35 plus years until retirement. 100% stocks in low-cost index funds. Higher expected returns over that time horizon. Requires discipline to not panic sell during downturns. The psychological truth at 30. This is the decade where compound growth starts working. Your 50,000 at 30 does not become 150 at 40 from saving alone. It becomes 150 from saving plus the returns on your base, compounding for 10 years. The foundation matters. By age 40, 3 times your salary. At 60,000, 180,000. At 100, 300. At 150, 450. The jump from 1 times to 3 times is mostly compound growth on money you already had. Your 50,000 at 30 growing at 7% for 10 years becomes 98,000 without adding a single dollar. The base is working for you now. Reality at 40. Bottom 20%, 30 to 80,000. Middle 50, 80 to 250. Top 20, 250 to 600 plus. Most people at 40 are somewhere between 80 and 250. If you are behind at 40. 100,000 instead of 300. 200,000 short. That sounds scary, but it is fixable. The catch-up window is closing, but still wide open. You have 25 years. Real scenario. Michael at 40 earns 100,000, has 120,000 saved. Target, 300. He is 180 short. Michael's plan. Age 40 to 49, increase savings to 20%. 20,000 a year plus 4,000 employer match, 24,000 per year. His 120 base at 7% for 10 years, 236,000. Plus 24 per year with growth, 346,000. Total at 50, 582,000. Age 50 to 59, Michael uses catch-up contributions. Maxes 401k at 32,500 per year. His 582 base at 7% for 10 years, 1.145 million. Plus 32,500 per year with growth, 477,000. Total at 60, 1.622 million. Age 60 to 65, super catch-up at 35,750 for ages 60 through 63, then 32,500 for 64 to 65. With compound growth on his base and continued contributions, approximately 2.44 million at 65. Michael started at 40 with 120,180 behind target. By maximizing savings and using every catch-up rule available, 2.44 million at 65. 24 times his salary. Michael went from panicking at 40 to retiring wealthy at 65. The catch-up window worked. By age 50, 6 times your salary. At 75,000, 450. At 100, 600. At 150, 900. Reality at 50. Bottom 20%, 100 to 250. Middle 50, 250 to 700. Top 20, 700 to 1.5 million plus. At 50, the catch-up rules kick in. This is your built-in advantage. Congress created these specifically because they know people fall behind. 2026 contribution limits at age 50 to 59. 401k base, 24,500. Age 50 catch-up, 8,000. Total, 32,500 per year. Important correction, the catch-up increased from 7,500 to 8,000 for 2026. IRA at 50 plus, 7,500 base plus 1,000 catch-up equals 8,500 per year. SHA at 55 plus, 4,400 individual plus 1,000 catch-up equals 5,400, or 9,750 for a family plan. Combined annual tax advantage savings at 50 plus, 32,500 for 401k, 8,500 for IRA 50, 400 for SA. Total, 46,400 per year. You can shelter 46,400 from taxes starting at age 50. Over 10 years from 50 to 60, 464,000 in contributions, plus compound growth, approximately 670 total. The catch-up rules add 670,000 to your retirement over a decade. New for 2026. The mandatory Roth catch-up rule. If you earn more than 150,000 in the prior year, all catch-up contributions must be made to a Roth account within your retirement plan. After tax, not pre-tax. This means the 8,000 catch-up goes to Roth 401k, not traditional. Why this is actually good for you. Roth contributions grow tax-free. Roth withdrawals are tax-free. No RMDs ever. You are paying taxes now to save much more in taxes over 30 years of retirement. High earners are being forced into the Roth catch-up, which is actually the better long-term strategy. Real scenario. Jennifer at 50. Earns 120. Has 380,000 saved. Target, 720. 340 short. Jennifer's plan. Max 401k at 32,500. Plus IRA 8,500. Total, 41,000 per year. Her 380 base at 7% for 10 years, 748,000. Plus, 41 per year, with growth, 601,000. Total at 60, 1.349 million. Age 60 to 63, super catch-up. 401k at 35,750 plus IRA 8,500, 44,250 per year. With compound growth, approximately 1.792 million at 63. Age 63 to 65, back to the regular catch-up at 41,000 per year. Total at 65, approximately 2.05 million. Jennifer started at 50,340,000 behind target. Result, 2.05 million at 65. 17 times her salary. Comfortable retirement secured. The catch-up and super catch-up rules did exactly what they were designed to do. By age 60, 8 times your salary. At 100,000, 800. At 150, 1.2 million. At 200, 1.6 million. Reality at 60. Bottom 20%, 200 to 500. Middle 50, 500 to 1.2 million. Top 20, 1.2 to 2.5 million plus. Ages 60 to 63. The super catch-up. The most powerful contribution window in the entire tax code. Corrected 2026 limits. 401k base, 24,500. Super catch-up at ages 60 to 63, 11,2, 50. This replaces the 8,000 regular catch-up for these ages. It does not stack on top. Total 35,750 per year. At age 64, you revert to the regular catch-up. 401k. 24,500 plus 8,000 equals 32,500 per year. The 4-year super catch-up window. 35,750 per year for 4 years, 143,000 in contributions. With compound growth, approximately 175,000. This 4-year window alone adds 175,000 to your retirement. Plus IRA catch-up at 8,500. Plus SA catch-up at 5,400. Combined at 60 to 63, 49,650 per year. Nearly 50,000 in tax-sheltered savings every year. Real scenario. David at 60. Earns 150. Has 800,000. Target 1.2 million. 400 short. David's plan. Age 60 to 63, max at 35,750 401k plus 8,500 IRA. 44,250 per year. His 800 base at 7% for 4 years, 1.049 million. Plus contributions with growth, 196,000. Total at 63, 1.245 million. Age 63 to 67, back to 32,500 plus 8,500. His base at 7% for 4 years, 1.633 million. Plus contributions, 176,000. Total at 67, 1.809 million. David started 400,000 behind at 60. Result, 1.809 million at 67. 12 times his salary. Plus Social Security at 25,000 per year. Combined retirement income, approximately 97,000 per year. David can retire comfortably at 67, despite being 400,000 behind at 60. The super catch-up saved him. The working longer multiplier, even if by age 60 you are still not able to achieve these goals, then there is one more final push. The single most powerful financial move for someone behind on milestones, working 1 to 3 years longer. Let me show you why the math is so dramatic. Every extra year you work provides 4 benefits simultaneously. 1 more year of savings contributions at 32 to 35,000. 1 more year of compound growth on your entire portfolio. 1 fewer year of withdrawals from your portfolio. And 1 more year of delayed Social Security, which adds 6.7 to 8% per year. Example, $1 million at 65. Work 1 more year to 66. The million grows 7% to 1.07 million. Plus 35,000 in new savings, 1.105 million. Plus Social Security delayed 1 year, adding roughly 2,000 per year for life. Effective value, approximately 1.155 million. 1 extra year added 155,000 to effective retirement wealth. 3 extra years from 65 to 68, the million becomes roughly 1.5 million in effective retirement resources. 3 years of extra work equals 500,000 more. For someone behind on milestones, this is the single most impactful decision available. The psychological reframe. Working to 68 instead of 65 is not a failure. It is a strategic decision worth $500,000. Many people want to work into their late 60s for purpose, social connection, and structure. Frame it as an asset, not a punishment. If you are significantly behind on the milestones, here are 3 specific moves that work together. Step 1. Increase your savings rate by 1% per year. Start at 10. Year 2, 11. Year 3, 12. By year 5, 15%. After 5 years, you are saving 50% more than when you started. The 1% annual increase does not feel painful. You adjust to living on slightly less each year. Step 2. Capture the full employer match. The average match is 3 to 4% of salary. At $100,000, that is $3,000 to $4,000 in free money every year. If you are not contributing enough to get the full match, you are leaving 100% return on the table. This is the single highest return investment available to anyone. Step 3. Do Roth conversions during any low-income year. Sabbatical between jobs, semi-retired. Convert traditional IRA to Roth at the 12 or 22% bracket instead of the 32% you normally pay. Tax savings, $5,000 to $15,000 per conversion. This does not add new money. It optimizes the tax treatment of what you already have. Combined over 10 to 15 years, the 3 steps add $200,000 to $400,000 to your retirement. Extra savings from the rate increase. Captured employer match. Tax optimization from Roth conversions. This can close a significant gap without requiring heroic sacrifice. Sarah behind at 50, the 3-step accelerator in action. Sarah, 50 years old, earns $90,000, has $200,000 saved. Target at 6 times, $540. She is $340,000 behind. Can she catch up? Step 1. Increase savings by 1% per year. She starts at 11% and reaches 15% by age 55. Average savings over 15 years, $11,500 per year. Total contributed, $172,500. Step 2. Capture the full employer match. 3% of $90,000, $2,700 per year. Over 15 years, $40,500 in free money. Step 3. At 55, Sarah takes a career transition. Income drops to $30,000. She converts $40,000 from traditional IRA to Roth at the 12% bracket. Tax, $4,800 instead of $8,800 at full income. Savings, $4,000. Plus that $40,000 grows tax-free in Roth for 30-plus years. Compound growth on her $200,000 base at 7% for 15 years, $552,000. Plus $213,000 in total contributions with growth, $353,000. Total at 65, $905,000. Sarah went from $200,000, $340,000 behind target to $905,000 at 65. 10 times her salary. She exceeded the milestone. The 3-step accelerator closed a $340,000 gap. She did not save 25%. She did not make heroic sacrifices. She increased 1% per year, captured the match, and did 1 strategic Roth conversion. That was enough. The honest truth. These milestones assume perfect conditions. Most lives are not perfect. Here is what to adjust. If you started at 35 instead of 25, shift the milestones forward by roughly 5 years. Or increase your savings rate to 20 to 25%. Both paths get you to the same destination. If you are self-employed with no employer match, use a solo 401k. Contribute as both employee at $24,500 and employer at up to 25% of net income. Total, up to $70,000 per year. The solo 401k replaces the employer match and then some. If you want to retire before 65, you need 12 to 15 times your salary by your target retirement age. Save 20 to 30%. Use aggressive investment allocation. Consider financial independence strategies. If your income was lumpy, low, early, high, later, do not stress the early milestones. Focus on the later ones when your income is higher. At 50 to 60, aggressive savings with higher income can close major gaps. In your 20s, start now. Even $100 a month matters when it has 40 years to compound. Automate the transfer. Time is your greatest asset. In your 30s, hit or approach the 1x milestone. If behind, increase savings to 15%. The gap is still small. Close it before 40. In your 40s, evaluate the 3x milestone. If behind, this is your catch-up window. Increase to 20 to 25%. You still have 25 years. In your 50s, max the catch-up contributions. 32,500 to 401k, 8,500 to IRA. These rules exist for you. Use them. In your 60s, super catch-up at 35,750 for ages 60 to 63. Every additional year you work adds compound growth, plus savings, plus delays Social Security for a higher benefit. If you can work 2 to 3 extra years, the math strongly favors it. The milestones are targets, not judgments. 80% miss them. What matters is what you do from here. Every dollar saved today becomes 10 or more at retirement through compound growth. Start now, not next month, not next year. Now, the Fidelity milestones tell you exactly where you should be at each age. 1x by 30, 3x by 40, 6x by 50, 8x by 60. If you are behind, the catch-up rules exist for you. 32,500 at 50 plus 35,750 at 60 to 63. Start today. Hit subscribe. Next week, the complete catch-up contribution strategy for ages 50 to 67. See you there. Full disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Nothing constitutes financial investment or tax advice. The Fidelity milestones are targets based on specific assumptions, starting at 25, saving 10 to 15%, 7% returns, 3% employer match, and working to 67. Your targets should be adjusted for your specific income start date, savings rate, and retirement goals. 2026 contribution limits: 401k 24,500, under 50 32, 500 at 50, to 59 35 750 at 60 to 63. 2 per catch-up replaces regular catch-up for these ages, not additive. 32 500 at 64 plus. IRA 7,500, under 50 8,500 at 50 plus. These limits are per year's revenue procedure 2025-19. Beginning 2026 employees earning more than $150,000 in prior year wages must make catch-up contributions as Roth. This is a secure 2.0 provision. Consult your plan administrator and CPA. The 7% return assumption is a historical nominal average. Actual returns vary dramatically by year. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Market downturns can significantly impact projections. The 4% safe withdrawal rate is a rule of thumb, not a guarantee. Social Security amounts vary by earnings history. Healthcare costs in retirement are significant and unpredictable. Consult a financial advisor and CPA for your specific situation. Thanks for watching.